Okay, let's crack open this case file. We're running a full psychological profile on a subject of interest, the adversary. And our mission really is to completely redefine what we think of as damnation, moving our investigation away from the physical world and into the much more terrifying landscape of the internal abyss. And right from the jump, we've got this incredible piece of intel. It tells us that everything we've been led to believe about the abyss, the fire, the darkness, it's all basically a smokescreen. The real horror isn't the place, it's the prison you become.
So, like any good investigation, we've got to start at the beginning. We're going to examine the traditional crime scene, look at all the physical evidence that's been laid out for us for centuries. Now, the first reports on file, they map out a very specific physical location. You've got field notes describing a burning lake, these dark, barren valleys, basically a cosmic gutter. And the official story? It's a prison, a place of incarceration for a failed coup up in the celestial realms, a place you get sent to.
And inside this supposed prison, the subjects aren't just sitting around suffering. No, they're organizing. They actually build Pandemonium, a capital of shadow. It's basically a fortress for an ongoing insurgency. This makes the crime scene look like a place of conflict, not just punishment. But what if the crime scene itself is the biggest red herring of all? And that right there brings us to the single most important question of our investigation, the one that flips this entire case file on its head. Are we really investigating a location, or are we profiling a psychological condition?
Okay, so we're making a hard pivot. We're shifting our entire focus away from geography and diving straight into psychology. It's time to open up the psychological profile of our primary subject, the adversary.
So here it is, the formal definition right out of the case file. The internal abyss, a permanent state of psychological torment. And the key part, the part you gotta pay attention to, is that it exists independent of any external surroundings. So forget the fire and brimstone around you. The real prison is the one burning inside you.
Let's break down the diagnostic profile. What creates this condition? Well, it boils down to two core traits: an unyielding, unbreakable pride and just total self-absorption. For a subject like this, any kind of hierarchy isn't just a structure, he sees it as a personal insult. And that mindset, it doesn't just put him in a prison, it is the prison. He literally becomes his own jailer.
And this is where it gets really crazy. If hell is a state of mind, then guess what? It's portable. Damnation becomes this subjective reality that the subject just carries with him everywhere he goes. It follows him around like a shadow he can never, ever outrun.
So we have this internal condition. The big question is, how does it manifest in the real world? Let's take a look at the subject's MO and connect his psych profile to his biggest tactical operation, the breach at Eden.
Suddenly, the motive becomes terrifyingly clear. Misery this deep? Well, it can't be contained. The hell within acts like an engine, constantly fueling this compulsive need to tear down anything good, to make the outside world look just as chaotic as his internal one. He has to export the agony. He's weaponizing his own misery.
And check out his tactical playbook. This isn't a battle fought with swords, it's straight-up psychological warfare. Step 1, reframe a divine command, a form of protection, as a chain. Step 2, twist language, subvert the truth. Step 3, take humanity's own desire for status and knowledge and turn it into a weapon against them. And the final move, argue that the one thing keeping them safe is actually the tool for their liberation. It is an absolute masterclass in manipulation.
Now, to really understand the subject's condition, you need a point of comparison, right? A control group. And that brings us to a parallel case study. The human subjects who got caught up in the Eden breach. Their outcome, radically different.
Okay, this slide, this is the whole investigation in a nutshell. The contrast here is everything. For the adversary, the punishment is an internal abyss. For humanity, an external exile. His trajectory is what the files call ontological decay, basically a shrinking of the self. Theirs? They become humbled students. And the final state? For him, it's a hollow shell. For them, it's a paradise within.
Let's dig into the adversary's trajectory for a second. His internal state triggers this ontological decay. Now, what does that even mean? It's a decay of his very being. It's both literal and metaphorical. He goes from this majestic archangel all the way down to a lowly serpent. His grand cosmic ambition just collapses into petty, localized spite.
But then you look at humanity's path, and it's the complete opposite. Their external hardship, being cast out into the rocky fields, forces them to make a choice, either collapse into despair or grow. And for them, it becomes a forge. Through learning from their mistakes, through repentance, they build this incredibly resilient inner strength. They create their own refuge, a paradise within that no one can take away from them.
So, after looking at the crime scene, the psych profile, the MO, and the parallel case study, we've reached the end. It's time for the final findings of this investigation. Case closed.
And the primary conclusion is as stark as it is simple. Damnation is not a sentence handed down from on high. It's a choice made from deep within. So what does that mean? It means the abyss isn't some act of cosmic cruelty. It is the inevitable mathematical result of a state of mind. It's just what happens when pride becomes so big that it rejects any connection to something greater than itself. It's a prison you build yourself, brick by painful brick. And so we close this case file with one final verdict. Those burning lakes, the shadowy valleys, that's just scenery. The true abyss, the deepest possible hell, is the profound isolation that comes from being completely, totally, and utterly absorbed with yourself. The ultimate prison isn't a place at all. It's a perspective. Which leaves us with one last lingering question. If you build the prison yourself, does that mean you also hold the key?